know we have the author's actual words? How do we know when they copied the originals, they didn't copy them wrong? How do we know that? How can we trust those manuscripts? One of the most authentic writings in the New Testament, one of the most authentic writings besides the New Testament is the Iliad and the Odyssey, written by Homer. And in those, there are about 1,800 copies that were written about 400 to 500 years after he wrote them. And nobody disputes the Iliad and the Odyssey. Nobody disputes them as authentic writings. Those are the actual words that Homer wrote. Nobody disputes that. Now I want you to compare that to the New Testament, because there are 1,800 copies of that. But do you know how many copies there are of the New Testament? 25,000. 25,000 copies that are cross-checking each other, right? And they weren't written 400 or 500 years after the fact. By the way, scribes would write them meticulously, letter by letter. If one letter was off, they threw it out. They were not written 400 to 500 years later. In fact, they were made about, in some cases, 30 to 40 years after Jesus died. The Dead Sea Scrolls, what a great find, right? Some of those were 50 to 70 AD. That's when they were written. The Gospel of Mark, just a few years after Christ's death, some believe. Those are the copies that we have. The actual words of these apostles. There's no doubt, there should not be any doubt in your mind, that these men, moved by God, wrote these words that we see today.